Dun, dun, dun! Hello, beautiful people. It's me, Robin Vi Carpenter Briscoe, your favorite spiritual life coach. And I am here to welcome you to today's class from the Magic and the Crystals. We are on day 3 of the series. I think I have just figured out I forgot all of my notes in the other room. Yeah. So I'm totally going to wing it because I don't want to leave you sitting here while I go get the notes. This is why people have production assistants. This is why I miss my producer, Corey. She made sure I always had all of the things before we did anything. This is what this is for. Okay. Yeah, but I don't have the quotes, and that's going to bother me. Okay, I love you, and hang tight. Yeah, I totally did that. But I can't remember all of this stuff. And that's why I make notes. And then I left it in the other room because I was going over my notes. Anyway, let's get centered. How are you this morning? I am having a glorious, glorious, glorious morning. I'm really excited. I woke up. I wasn't sneezing this morning. I literally woke myself up sneezing the other day. Like I was sneezing in my sleep. I didn't even know that that was a thing. I was kind of the mind that somehow your body it didn't occur to me that your body sneezes. It still gets irritated and agitated and sneezes. How funny is that? Anyway, so I woke myself up sneeze because in Louisiana, things are growing and pollinating and things because we don't have snow like so many people, particularly in the Northeast, I know for sure, got dumped on. So, yeah, I am grateful to have you with me today. And we are on day 3, as I said, of the Magic and the Crystals. So, how's it going so far? I love this practice. It's actually, I was really excited about doing it. And then I remembered why I love this practice so much. And magical relationships is our practice for today, right? Is what we're working on. Excuse me. So here are our 2 quotes for the day. I have to stop pretending. Every one complaint about another person, whether in thought or word, there have to be 10 blessings for the relationship to flourish. And that is an actual quote from the Magic in that chapter. Excuse me. I thought, of all the things that it said, and I spend a lot of time talking with clients about their relationships, either who are married or who are not married and wish they were in a relationship or have relationships of some sort or another that are not satisfactory, right? And I can say for sure that I did a practice very similar to this when I first got married. It was before I had read this book, and I didn't realize like there was a a structured way of doing it. But what happened was I realized that, excuse me, it was really important to me to stay in love with my spouse. She's really wonderful. And I have been witness to people who have been in relationships for such a long time that they can only see all the things that irritate them or agitate them or disappoint them about the person they're in that relationship with, and they can't see any of the goodness that they have in that relationship any longer. So then they go, oh my God, I'm getting divorced, or oh my God, my life is, my marriage is miserable, my relationship is miserable, they broke up with me, or whatever. And it's like, well, dude, what was the point of keeping that relationship when all you did was complain about it anyway? Like, are you really that unhappy? And if so, why aren't you doing anything about it? That's a conversation for another bottle of wine. But going back to this, and what I was talking about was every morning before I would get up, when I got up, and when I was journaling, before I would journal about whatever was going on in my mind that day, I would, I did this for a year. I would journal my gratitude, right? So I'm grateful for this and grateful for this. And then I would go on to write. So one day I was having a fight with my husband. She had pissed me off for whatever reason. Who remembers? I don't remember. I honestly cannot tell you what that fight was about. What I can tell you is what happened when I sat down to journal. So it was early because she works early. So we had an early morning fight, and then she went to work. Never a good thing, right? It's never a good thing. Nobody has a good day that day if you don't do something about it. So I sat down, and I, in my righteousness, was ready to write out, and this, and she did, blah, blah, blah. And I'm right? Excuse me. However, I had promised myself at the beginning of the year that I was only going to journal gratitude first, that I had to go through gratitude first. And since the only thing that was on my mind that day was my spouse, then that meant I had to journal about gratitude about her. So I started the list, and I was like, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful that she's this. I'm grateful, blah, 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 whatever I said. It's in a journal somewhere. So what happened was everything that I was upset about in that moment was completely diffused completely. Like, I didn't even feel like it was like, well, I could kind of see her point after that, because all I could think about was how grateful I am for her, how grateful I am for what she brings to my life, how grateful I am that she exists on this planet. Like, that was all of that, right? So when I'm writing that, how can I write all the other stuff later? Because now there's no more of that anyway. I don't even feel that anymore. I took all of the fire out of it. It was a wonderful experience because it was one of the best ways to illustrate to me how powerful gratitude is and how powerful gratitude can be for a relationship. So when I read this quote about every time you have one crappy thought about somebody, you have to have 10 really good thoughts about them, about their blessings in your life, or your relationship is going to deteriorate and eventually fall apart. That was huge for me. That was like a big, like, psh. That makes sense though, right? Because it's cumulative. Today, it's like, this irritates me, and I haven't let it go. And I didn't think of 10 good things. All I'm just thinking about is what's irritating me. And then tomorrow, yesterday's thing is irritating me, and now this new thing is irritating me. And then next week, yesterday, the day before after that, and today, irritating. Still not thinking of any of the good things, only the irritations. So they end up becoming like, excuse me, I liken this kind of thought to like a rubber band ball where it's just like, one after the other, and then you did this, and then, right? And I've seen what that can do to a relationship. And it's like this like thing like this, where it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can't hold hands anymore. Why? Because your arms won't reach around the rubber band ball of all the things that are wrong. So you can't find them anymore because all you've got is all the things that they've ever done. And let one more thing hit, and boom, they just start, and that's the end of the relationship, because I can't even think of any good things anymore. So I love that idea, right? Then here's your next quote. What's important to have is a grateful heart. When you have gratitude within, your heart opens and opens you up to receive more blessings. And that's me. It's funny. I wrote this book so many years ago, I forgot what I said. So when I go back and read it, I'm like, oh, that was good. So today is magical relationships, yes? And you were supposed to get 3 photographs. And you know what happened? I realized that I don't have a lot of photographs because why? Everything's on my phone. Everything's digital, right? So I don't have the photographs. So what I ended up doing, because I'm extra, is I went to Walgreens and I created a photo collage from my phone. Can you see it? So there's like my client, and there's me in the middle, and there's me and my mom and me and my spouse. And this is a terrible picture, but it didn't matter because it's just for me. It's because I am a spiritual life coach, and I am also president of the board of the Capitol Park Museum. Yay! Here in Baton Rouge. So I had to be both, and I couldn't just choose the one thing, because I always have, it's funny, I've done this now more than once. I always have my mom, and I always have my husband, and then the third thing changes, and I realized that, both of these were extraordinarily important relationships to me, and things that I really would love to enumerate why they're so important to me. So why I was so grateful for them. My client, Whitney, she's been a client of mine now for 2 years. It'll be 2 years in April. And we have done so many wonderful things together as friends, and then as clients. Like, I have deep love and respect for her and her journey, which, I'll have her come and appear on the Saturday sessions one day with me, and she can tell you about it. Excuse me. But she's one of my people. And it's funny, I just wanted to give you an idea of something that you could do, because you might get stymied by the whole, I don't have any pictures, right? Because people carry their pictures. That's why it's like becoming a thing now to get pictures. To like, oh my God, now you can print them out from your phone. You can have pictures, which before was like, oh my God, all these pictures. And now it's like, oh my God, all my pictures. Perspective is everything. So anyway, so today's stone is malachite. And so you can't really, I don't know if you can see them. See the upper stone of these earrings. There we go. That's better. I have to be like not uncoordinated though. Is malachite. You've seen it before. It's a green striated stone. This ring, all the dark green parts, is also malachite. They were gifts from a friend of mine who knows how much I love stones. So malachite is, I focus on my heart center. I treasure the lessons I learn in relationships. It realigns your mind with your heart. So your heart is the center of thought. And I thought this is like legitly the perfect stone for that, right? You need to focus your energy and gratitude on what's good in your relationships and what's good about who you are in those relationships. That's important to remember. Like, the thing about being in relationship with people is not just who they are, it's also who you are with them. Like, the thing that, you know, people, they're like, oh, your face is so bright and shiny. And I'm like, that's because I live a really joyous, happy life. I am grateful for everything and everyone in my life because my life is so much richer because of it. It's so this is encouraging us to take time to think about them and be grateful for them. And why? What about them are you grateful? Not, I'm just grateful for this person. Like, why are you grateful? What about them makes you feel grateful? Excuse me. So malachite, you can see I'm wearing it because it's a special, it was a gift. So it's kind of my representation of how I can use malachite with the intention of honoring that relationship. It's all kinds of extra in my mind. So I know why I'm wearing them. No one else really needs to know. They can just go, oh, your earrings are pretty. So this is an idea that you cannot see this at all. I wasn't sure if it would show up on camera or not. This is a bottle of linen water. Excuse me. And I make it to spray on the bed. I originally started because I wanted to help my spouse sleep better. So it was lavender water and I spray it all. It's also an act of love to spray the sheets of your bed in order to create a harmonious space. So, lavender. And then I added malachite, little tiny ones at the bottom of the bottle. Well, in the bottle, they sink to the bottom because they're stones, but in the bottle, in order to focus our heart energy on, the reflective goodness that our love is. So I put that, and then I spray it on our pillows, spray it on the sheets, spray it on, I make the bed and I spray it, and then so that is something, and you don't have to do it with malachite. You can do anything that you want. I didn't really have a, this is what you should absolutely do. This is a suggestion because I'm specifically talking about my marriage, right? However, if your relationships are really focused not in a partner, however, more like your mom or your thing, your friends. Something else that I decided to do today is I'm gonna place. I have a whole bunch of those little tiny malachite chips. I'm gonna put them all over this frame of my people that I'm grateful for, that remind me of the me that I am, right? So that is my suggestion for the day. Malachite, get you some. So I have nothing left to offer you other than this. I'm grateful for you. I am grateful for this time that we spend together, and I am grateful for the opportunity to offer this to you. If you are thinking that you'd like to have a little bit more conversation with me, you can meet me over on Clubhouse at 9:30 Central Standard Time to have a little talk about the magic in the crystals. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Remember, you are illimitable. So go create a life that rocks. I'll see you tomorrow.